So you go out on the road against the defending Super Bowl champs and you win. You just can't complain about that. Unless you're me. Did you see that? The M.O.A.P? The mother of all prevents.
A glimmer of hope left for the Eagles. There's Ertz all alone in the middle of the field to the 30.
Seriously, why put anybody out there? I mean, what does it matter if it takes 1 minute or 10 seconds? Either way, they got no timeouts left, so you're completely putting it all in the hands of an onside kick. Even though your defense just stopped them, 3 and out, Mike Zimmer would rather put his team's fate in the hands of an onside kick than in his defense. Number 1 rated defense, sorry. Which I thought Mike Zimmer liked, running the football and playing good defense.
The formula that Mike Zimmer wants. He wants to run the football and then, of course, play better defense.
But apparently he likes putting it all in the hands of an onside kick. And if they had just kicked it to Rudolph instead of Thielen, the Eagles would have won. The end of this game reminded me of, it was the 8th game of 2016 when the Vikings played the Lions at home. So the Vikings started 2016 5-0. Then they lost 2 straight. They go into this Detroit game. They're struggling. Their offense was struggling. And they scored a touchdown with 23 seconds left to go ahead 16-13. A done deal. They win, right? Well, wrong, because the M.O.A.P showed up. Detroit went 35 yards in 2 plays. Matt Pereira comes on, kicks a 58-yard tying field goal. They go into overtime. Detroit gets the possession. All-Pro Xavier Rhodes and first ballot Hall of Famer Harrison Smith make the 2 worst tackle attempts in history and allow Golden Tate to score a touchdown to win the game. That was where my opinion of Mike Zimmer changed. You just can't coach like this and be a championship team. And maybe the worst part is that the Vikings defense played a lot better. They got the big turnovers when they needed them. When the Vikings offense made that horrible turnover on the lateral late in the game that could have cost us the game, the Vikings defense forced a 3 and out and pushed them out of field goal range. Give your defense a chance to win the game. As much as I hate Xavier Rhodes and All-Pro Xavier Rhodes, it's not all the players. That is not the whole reason why this defense, number 1 ranked defense, has not been very good this year. It's the scheme, too.
He needs to coach smarter.
Thielen was a monster again, as usual. Diggs was awesome. Cousins was very good. Made some really good throws under intense pressure. I just hope he doesn't get hurt, especially by guys like Michael Bennett diving at his knees. And, it was a win against the defending Super Bowl champs on the road. So it's good. It's good. You just can't coach yourself into positions where you give yourself a chance to lose. Time for the awards. The best rethinking of outdated football philosophy. That's going mostly to Troy Aikman, also to Joe Buck, I believe. Last week, they had the whole, run the ball.
And the Vikings have got to run the ball better here tonight.
Not easy to run the football against this Los Angeles Rams defensive front, but that's going to be important.
You can't run the ball if you can't run the ball. And also, if the defense is good at stopping the run, you don't necessarily want to try to run at them.
The path to success is not running the football.
Troy Aikman kind of wised up.
He said, hey, I got 2 Ferraris on the outside with Thielen and Diggs, and I'm not going to bang my head against Fletcher Cox trying to run the ball in the middle and do something just for the sake of doing it.
The Vikings, again, controlled the clock with the passing game. You can control the clock with the passing game. And what did you notice at the end? It seemed like the offensive line played better at the end. Controlled passing game, making the defensive linemen run back and forth across the field, rush the passer constantly. Did they get worn out? And is that one effect of throwing the ball a lot with this short passing game? You wear out the defensive line? Yeah. Best assessment of the Vikings season thus far by someone with fewer brain cells than PJ Fleck. That's going to go to Erin Andrews.
They have the guys to turn this thing around. They just need the special teams, the offense, the defense to just put this thing on the right track.
Now 14-0 before you know it.
The Mike Tomlin Award for a horrible challenge. That goes to Doug Pederson, who pretty much everything else, I think he's brilliant. But this was like the worst challenge I've ever seen. Even Mike Pereira could see that was a catch. Speaking of Mike Pereira, our over-officious jerk of the week goes to Mike Pereira again. There were a couple calls where Mike got to weigh in. I'm just so happy to hear Mike Pereira every week talk about the rules and how he doesn't know how to interpret them. It's phenomenal. It really adds to the viewing experience. First, in the fourth quarter, the Eagles score cut the Vikings lead to 20-14. Or did they? It was a 2nd and 10 play, and clearly the Eagles receiver, don't remember his name, not going to look it up. He catches the ball and he's going straight to the ground. The ball comes out immediately when he hits the ground. It's not a catch. I haven't even looked up the new rule, but that is not the type of play they instituted this new rule for. He is going straight to the ground. He doesn't make a football move. He's going straight to the ground immediately. Ball pops out immediately. Not a catch. And what does Mike Pereira say?
Control, 2 feet, and a football move.
When it's obviously not a catch, he's sure that it is a catch. Second Mike Pereira moment was when Michael Bennett got his roughing the passer call for diving at Kirk Cousins' knees.
Mike?
I got to tell you, to me, did the block really push him into it? I think it did. I mean, with the hands on the back, to me, not much he can do in that situation when he's pushed. Might even ask if it was really forcible, if he wrapped and really just took him to the ground.
Shut up! The points he's making are completely wrong. First of all, he wasn't blocked into Cousins, okay? Oh, Rudolph was pushing him in the back. No, he wasn't. It was all Michael Bennett going to the ground on his own, number one. And number two, if your excuse is that Kyle Rudolph pancaked me, you deserve a 15-yard penalty, okay? I mean, no offense to Kyle Rudolph. He's a tight end, and he's a pass-catching tight end. He is not a blocking tight end. You get knocked down by Kyle Rudolph, 15 yards. And he's actually kind of right about the second point. Is there forcible contact to the knee? Maybe not. But why is there no forcible contact to the knee? Cousins feels it at the last moment, moves his left leg out of the way so that he doesn't get his knee torn up, doesn't get his ACL torn. If Cousins doesn't move his leg there, what do you think happens? Was what Michael Bennett did extremely dangerous? It sure was. By the rules, was it a penalty? Because there was no forcible contact to the knee? I guess not, but in the spirit of the rule, it should have been a penalty. He dove at his knees, and if Cousins hadn't moved his leg, Cousins would be out for the year, and Michael Bennett's a dirty player, so that's how it works. Why do we need some stupid official telling us how to interpret it when he doesn't even know what happened?
Joe, it is a good no call.
Time to bring back an award from week one. This is the Social Justice Award, and this goes to Michael Bennett, who got the old roughing the passer penalty for diving at Kirk Cousins' knees, but it was a perfectly clean play, right? Just ask Michael Bennett, because he's an honest guy. But so Michael Bennett, he's very into social justice, like Richard Sherman, who won the award in week one. He was obviously wronged on that roughing the passer call where he deliberately dove at Kirk Cousins' knees. And is Kirk Cousins white? So was that call racially motivated? Of course. So how does Michael Bennett right that wrong? Well, later in the drive, when Cousins throws a touchdown pass to Adam Thielen, Michael Bennett goes high on him and lands on him with all of his body weight, which is clearly a penalty under the new rules. But the referee did not throw a flag on that play in the interests of social justice. And so thank you, Michael Bennett, and some of this award belongs to the referee. Don't remember who. I think maybe it was Walt Coleman, who's very southern seeming, so I'm surprised he would be so pro-social justice, but good for both of them. Vikings have an easier schedule coming up. They got to win at least 3 of the next 4 games. I think 3 of the 4 are almost as winnable as that Buffalo game.
There was no one in that secondary at all. The whole field was open except down around the 10-yard line.
There's nobody within 50 yards of Ivory. Anthony Barr wants no part of Josh Allen.
So should be no issues, right? Got to keep winning games and got to stop the Mo.A.P. No more Mo.A.P. That's got to be our mantra. No more Mo.A.P. And then we'll have a chance.